I'm delighted to be joined by Alex Murphy, fresh off his war against Khaleel Majid on the undercard of Joe Joyce versus Filip Hrgovic last Saturday. Fair to say, Alex, it didn't go your way in the end, but what a great fight. The judges had it 96-94, 97-94, and 96-95. So very close fight. Yeah, what's your initial now that it's been a few days or so? How do you sum up the fight?
Yeah, yeah, and obviously, gutted the fight didn't go my way. But yeah, it was entertaining. It was a good fight. I feel like I performed well. And I made a good impression of myself, on the big stage. And I think that's all I can ask for. Credit to Khalil. He boxed well. He was good. He shown, he had the heart and the fitness to match me. So, um, it's just credit to him. And I've learnt an awful lot from the fight. So I've just got to bounce back, and I'm sure I'll be back better than ever when the time comes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So at the end of the fight, like what's going through your head? Are you thinking you've done, just enough to emerge victorious, or are you thinking, I've come up short here? What are your thoughts at the final bell?
Yeah, so I mean, after the fight, I didn't think I had won. But I'm my own worst critic, to be fair. So, like, even if just because it was a close fight, I'm never probably going to think I've won because it's close, if that makes sense. Because I'm very hard on myself. Um, but like when I went back to my corner and Brian, I asked. That's the first thing I asked straight away. I said, like, what do you think? My cut man Mike, he said, it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be a draw. And then Brian, my coach, said, I think we might have this. I think we've nicked this. So then I was, but obviously me personally, I didn't think so. When I was stood and when they were announcing it and they were reading the scores, and then they said the 97-94 one at first, I thought, yeah, I don't think that can be me. And then I was just sort of hoping that they'd say Khalil like, after that first one, and then because then I was hoping then it could be a
Mm.
split. Because then I thought, well, if it's 97-94 to Khalil, but then another judge gives it me, then I could nick this. And then obviously, then when they said, they didn't say his name, and then they carried on with the score, and I knew it was unanimous. I thought, yeah, no, it's not me. And obviously, yeah, it wasn't, and I was gutted because even though I sort of knew deep down that I hadn't won it, like when they carried on reading the scores, I was still like saying in my head, like, please, 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 like hoping it would be me. And then obviously when he announced him, I was gutted. It was hard to take and pretty emotional straight after it. But the response that I've got from it and the amount of credit I've got off everyone for the actual fight, um, I've sort of like come to accept it now, and I've watched it back as well. I watched it back the next day. And again, I still think it was the right decision. I still think Khalil won. I had it after 8 rounds. I had it even. I had it four apiece, and then I think the last 2 rounds he just nicked. I think the ninth round was very close, and then I think he definitely nicked the 10th. So I think the right man won, and there's no shame in coming up short in a great fight like that. Like at the end of the day, when you look at it on paper, he was ranked 30 places above me. It was a massive step up for me. Like the amount of people who they weren't saying it to me, but they were saying it to my manager, or they were saying it to my coaches, like saying, Alex isn't going to last 4 rounds. He's not going to get past the second round. Like, and on paper, I suppose that's fair to say, but I think I've just proved all of them wrong, and I was so confident in myself that I'd win. So when you're so confident and then you fall short, it's hard, but. Yeah, I'd have to after taking a few days to reflect and watch it back. I think I can only take the positives away from it, and I've learnt an awful lot. So, I think it's going to have done me the world of good, really.
No, absolutely. No, you definitely deserve a lot of credit. it was a great fight. It was, very, very entertaining. I think it's very easy when you're on that big stage to go there and kind of, sink the place out a little bit. But that was the complete opposite. It was a brilliant fight. Despite being, I guess, the underdog, you came to win. And
Yeah.
every round was really, was very competitive. It was just a brilliant spectacle, a brilliant start to the show. I mean, it was a brilliant card, and what a great start to the show it was. Um, do you think after watching the fight back, could you have done anything differently, like tactically?
Um, I think, yeah, like I think the last couple of rounds, that I think let me down. He was he was clever. I thought me plan of staying in close and trying to outwork him, I thought was working well. But then the last couple of rounds, I thought he was quite clever, and he started leaning in and putting his weight on me, and just sort of spoiling my tactics. So then, like when I think back now, I just think to myself, could I just change the game plan for them last couple of rounds? Um, but like I think being so disciplined to the game plan is what made it a close fight as well. So it's hard to say, but it's easy to watch it back and say I should have done this, I should have done that. But hindsight's a wonderful thing, and at the end of the day, it's what you do like in there that counts. And like, I could say I should have done this, I should have done that, but like in reality, you don't know if that would work either. So um, I've just got to sort of give myself credit for what I've done, and just learn from the mistakes that I felt like I made. So um, I've learned a lot from it. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, I did actually watch Khalil's post-fight interview, which was quite interesting, and he claimed that um he was one-handed in the fight. That's the kind of claim he made. Um, yeah, well, what do you make of that? I mean, I think, I definitely think you earned his respect, but in the post-fight interview, he basically said he was one-handed and things went wrong in camp and that kind of thing. Do you have any reaction to that?
Well, I haven't seen the interview, so I don't know. I can't relate to what you're saying, but um, yeah, I'm not sure. I think I just surprised him. He did say to me after it that I surprised him. To be fair, he said I didn't underestimate him, but he didn't underestimate me, but I did surprise him. So I think, off the back of it, because on paper, I suppose he was expected to wipe the floor with me. He's probably come out, although he's won, he's probably come away not as happy. Whereas, me, although I fell short, I've got a lot more credit. I'm probably getting more credit, for losing that fight than Khalil has for winning. So, um, but in terms of that, he's only had one hand and stuff. Like I hurt my hand in there, and so it's like it's a boxing fight. You've just got to crack on with it. And do what you can, and fair play. Like I say, he come out victorious, and probably rightly so. And but yeah, so it is what it is.
Fair enough. And well, was there anything that surprised you about him? Obviously, you told me that you never sparred, but you've seen him in your gym before and stuff. Was there anything that surprised you?
Um, no, he's yeah. To be fair, his fitness surprised me, and that is hard. I didn't like. Not that I didn't think he had it, but before the fight, like I was questioning whether he'd have the same heart as me, whether he'd have the same fitness as me. Because don't forget, we both boxed on the same show 5 weeks before, and I watched his fight, and I thought he looked tired in that fight, in a six rounder. So I was thinking to myself, a 10 rounder against someone like me who sets a high pace, I thought he would have really struggled. And, he proved me wrong in that aspect. He sort of maintained the pace just as well. So, and he's shown he had heart. But I have watched a couple of his interviews. Like I said, I've not seen the post fight one that you're referring to, but I've seen a couple of others, and he had a lot at stake. Like he was saying, if he lost that fight, that would have been the end of him. He was saying, his mum's been unwell, so We had that sort of motivator.
Mhm.
So I mean, I suppose I was wrong to question his heart, and he proved me right. He proved me wrong, sorry. Showing he had the grit and the willingness to dig deep, and like I keep saying, credit to him and fair play.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Um, I mean, do you do you also take confidence from the fight that, obviously commentary was saying that Majid has won, was a national champion and stuff like that. Do you take do you take any confidence from that you went very close with him. Obviously, it was still an English title eliminator, but I
Mhm.
guess they're trying to push him, and you came very close to beating him. So do you take kind of confidence from that?
Yeah, I do. I take massive confidence. Like he's ranked eighth in the UK, I think, and I'm 36th, and so I've just sort of proved myself that I'm top 10 worthy. Um, and yeah, like you say, he had a great amateur career, four-time national champion or whatever it is, and I just had a mediocre amateur career, nothing special, and but now I'm in a position where I'm in very close fights with talented fighters like Khalil, so it just that just puts me on the same pedestal as them really, and just shows what I'm made of and how good I am really. It's just a shame I didn't nick it and I didn't get the win, but I think I'm still definitely there in the mix of that sort of level. So yeah, huge confidence, and I'll be even better now next time as well. Everything I've learned from that fight, and just the experience of that fight, it's only going to make me better now for the future.
Yeah, talk to me about the whole I guess like what was it like on the day, being in the ring because like does it go through your mind, when you're in the ring like that, millions of people are watching, literally you on the zone and I'm sure it just must have felt very different just being on on such a big card. So
Yeah.
what was that experience like compared to, to other shows when when you're being broadcast live on a
Yeah.
massive platform?
Yeah, no, it was a really good experience. It was special, and it just made me feel important. To be honest, it made me like feel like I belong there because like just little things like in the changing rooms, we had somebody from the board like watch our hands get wrapped, and the guy from the board like was with us for the warm up, and like the ref come in the changing rooms beforehand and spoke to me and give me his instructions and all that, and like just little things like that. I just thought, wow, this is serious. Like this is, the big stage. And then, I was just as nervous as I have been on all my previous fights. But I just felt like, I've worked hard to be on that stage. You know what I mean? I've not been given it. I've done it the hard way, and I just felt like the sense of like I belong here. I've done this through hard work, and now's my time to sort of shine. And then like the ring walk, a lot of people said like, "Oh, did you feel more nervous doing the ring walk?" And truth be told, like no, I don't think I did. Like I'm always nervous anyway, but I didn't feel any more pressure or any more nerves walking out in front of such a big crowd. Like I keep saying, I just felt like I belong there. Like I feel like these big stages is like internally because I've got so could I believe in myself so much, like that is they're the stages that I should be on. So it was quite cool though, like having the experience of walking out with the big cameras in my face, and like even just being in the corners before it when they were announcing my names, and the bloody cameraman stood right there with a massive camera in my face. It was quite cool, but yeah, great experience, and I'm sure there's going to be many more to come.
Yeah, yeah, and you're also part of a great division as well. Obviously, Jack Rafferty was on the card as well, and yeah, I love the domestic scene at 140 pounds. I think it's really interesting. It's a great division. So following the fight, obviously it's early days, but has there been any whispers on what's next, like another opportunity on Queensbury or any other potential big fights coming up?
No, nothing yet. Gonna have a bit of a rest now. Obviously, two back-to-back camps. It's been a long time. I've pretty much spent all this year so far just in a training camp. So, yeah, I deserve a bit of a rest now. And then, I mean, I've got to obviously let this eye heal anyway. I can't spar or anything for a month. So yeah, I'll just enjoy a little bit of rest and then yeah, get back to the gym and speak to my manager and see what's next. I think we're definitely going to go down to 135 now though, because I can make it comfortably. And really, I'm probably a natural 135. I'm a big 135, whereas 140, I'm probably a small 140. And I did just feel like towards the later rounds when Khaleel was leaning on me and sort of walking through me that he was just a bit too strong. So yeah, I think it's probably the. I spoke to my nutritionist today, and he said he's more than happy, that he's more than confident, that I can do 135. So I suppose why not? Why not be big at that weight if I can make it, especially day before weigh-ins. It's like I've got plenty of time to refuel and rehydrate. So yeah, I think that's the plans now moving forwards. Go back down to lightweight, and then just see what's next. But yeah, I loved being on a big stage in a big fight, and I want more of that to come.
Yeah, yeah. And in terms of the eye, then, what's the injury? Is it just the cut that needs to heal for a few weeks before you can spar?
Yeah, yeah. It was just it's quite unfortunate really because it was literally 20 seconds to go in the last round, and obviously yeah, we just clashed heads and they opened the eye. It was pretty bad really. But yeah, the doctors stitched it up straight after it. I think they put four stitches in, and then I get them out on Sunday. Just booked to get the stitches removed on Sunday. But yeah, the doctors said like I can't like spar or have any contact with that for 28 days. So yeah, I've just got to wait that out. But I'll get back in the gym and take over on the bags and stuff like that. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, and I've just got to work on strengthen it and make sure it heals right, and yeah, and then hopefully it'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Well, look, Alex, I feel like you got a lot to be proud of last Saturday night, and hopefully this leads to more big opportunities. And as always, thank you for giving me some of your time. And yeah, we'll catch up soon.